My name is Geyer, and I was in Portland over the past couple of weeks, and what I saw wasn't homelessness and it wasn't a public health crisis, ladies and gentlemen. It was something different. It was definitely something different, and it scared me. And it was a crime scene sanctioned by the Oregon State Legislature. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the crime scene sanctioned by the Oregon State Legislature. We have reached the terminal stage of a failed experiment. While you're working, while you're raising your kids, the radicals in Salem were busy passing Measure 110. They told you it was compassion. They lied. 200 million of your tax dollars had been funneled into a system that doesn't provide recovery. It provides equipment. We're effectively subsidizing the slow motion suicide of our citizens. And we don't think for a second that the dealers don't know it. They're the only protected class left in this city. And if you're a small business owner, you get a $500 fine for a zoning violation. But what if you're a dealer standing 100 feet from a school playground with enough fentanyl to kill half the block? You're a protected victim of a systematic failure. It's a total calculated inversion of the rule of law. But here's the cost. And this is why we do this show. Say the name Maura Garrity. She was 8 years old. She was an innocent child with a future. And she is dead today because of a sanctuary policy that has become a death warrant for Oregonians. The driver who killed her had a federal deportation warrant. A federal deportation warrant. But that's because of the laws passed by the people you voted for. Our local policies were barred from cooperating with federal authorities to get that man off of our streets. But before he took a life. That isn't sanctuary. That's state-sponsored negligence. And the radicals are panicking. They see the tide burning. We've been followed in Salem by DSA activists. We've been punched in the face by DSA activists. Stalked by people who are terrified of a camera lens. Why? Because the truth is coming up by 5. We have confirmed reports of massive convoys moving through the corridor. Now, the federal government is pouring $400 million into the detention expansions in Everett because they know, everyone knows, the local system has completely abdicated its duty to protect you. The utopia they promise is a nightmare. The adults are finally back in the room, and the people who have destroyed the city are terrified that the lights are being turned back on. And tonight, we're not just talking about the collapse, we're documenting the restoration. And the Geyer Show starts now. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Geyer, and we're going to get into some topics here tonight that I'm very passionate about, something that I care about very much. It's going to be sad. It's going to be unfortunate about what we talk about, but I think we need to talk about it. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Geyer Show. So, as I said, a massive convoy headed up to Everett, Washington, spotted on I-5 earlier today. And right here is the video that I will show you guys of this convoy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yeah. We'll go bite it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Yeah.
8 federal immigration customs enforcement vehicles headed to Everett, Washington. Now, there is a processing facility up in Tacoma, Washington, that they take these criminals that they round up on the streets, and we'll go into the people that they were rounding up here just in a little bit later on the show. Thanks to our friend Katie Davis-Court making an amazing post here on X, and we're very grateful that we have journalists out there really trying to give you the truth about who these people are and who Immigration Customs Enforcement is going after, as well as Border Patrol and Department of Homeland Security. I mean, we're getting these bad dudes out of America, and whether you believe it or not, that is what's happening. That is what's happening. And let's talk about what these people do to innocent children. What these people do to innocent children. We said say her name. We said say her name. We're going to talk about Maura here for a second. Now, Maura, I'm going to go ahead and read this for you guys. Unfortunately, she was killed by somebody who should not have been in the United States. She was an 8-year-old Maura Garrity. Pray for her family, ladies and gentlemen. She was killed in a tragedy that should never have happened. The driver had a federal deportation warrant, but was protected by Oregon's sanctuary policies, and they granted him a license, a driver's license. While politicians stay silent, a family is shattered. How many more daughters must we lose before this law is enforced? I mean, think about it as a parent. If you're a parent here in these great United States, you know, like it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to see stuff like this. And especially if our own government is allowing people to stay in the United States that are specific. I've been saying it ever since this has become an issue, and ever since we've been vocal about it, is there's a problem here in the United States. There's an immigration problem. There's an illegal immigration problem, and we have a significant duty to stop that, because we don't want people like this to continue to get murdered, innocently murdered. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of children that are either being trafficked, murdered, molested, raped. For what? You know, from people coming across the border, being let in by the Biden administration. This is all Biden administration era, people coming in and hurting children like this. We don't want our children to be hurt anymore. And this is why we're talking about it. And this is why we go document all of this disgustingness that gets portrayed towards ICE and towards DHS. It's another way for the Democrats to distract you with something. It's another way for division to happen. I mean, they're doing good. Immigration Customs Enforcement. So what? They push you down. Who cares if they push you down? Right? You're getting in the way of their operations. And if you get in the way of federal operations, as you've seen over the past few weeks, you see what happens when you interfere physically and violently with federal operations. And those federal operations are going after people that are trying to hurt people like Maura. So I think we need to say her name more often. I think we need to talk about the children like this more often, because it's disgusting what happens to these children. Absolutely disgusting what happens to these children. It could be stopped. It could be stopped. And that's what $400 million is being put into federal operations to get this done in Washington, because our own state officials and local government and local police forces can't enforce the law because they're being told not to enforce the law, unless it has to do with any right-wing conservative if you're in a sanctuary city. But that's for a different subject. That's for a different day. And we'll talk about that when we can. We can't talk about that right now because this isn't the topic we're talking about. We're talking about Maura Garrity here. Maura Garrity, innocent child, murdered because there was somebody in this country that could have been out of this country, but he wasn't. He was here in Oregon. So we're going to continue along with this unfortunate topic of criminals coming from different countries into this country, intentionally harming people. So this is a prime example of why we need customs enforcement and immigration customs enforcement here in Oregon. Here, our friend Katie Davis Court, she said, here's a lengthy list of recent ICE arrests in the sanctuary state of Oregon, including Portland, where activists are continuing to impede and disrupt operations. Cruz Bonilla Vergara of Mexico was arrested here in Portland. He was convicted of sexual assault, strong arm rape, strong arm sodomy, etc. This man right here. Disgusting. Now I know what the opposing side. Now it's crazy that there's an opposing side to this, right? People want people like this into our country. It's crazy that there's an opposing side to this. But I know what they're going to say. The opposing side is going to say, well, there's people in our country that are citizens here that do this to children. I think I think that's terrible, and I think those people need to go away as well. Now, where can we send them? Since they're citizens of this country, we'll send them behind bars for the rest of their lives. But a lot of these kind of people like to claim insanity. They try and claim insanity so they don't have to go to prison for the rest of their lives and sit behind bars where they belong. Now, is it possible to find Jesus behind bars when you've done heinous acts and heinous crimes like that? I don't know. I'm not a heinous criminal. That's up for Jesus to decide. Not my decision, but it can be our decision to report on people like this so you know and what's aware inside of sanctuary cities here in Portland. And that's basically what our whole discussion is about tonight, is these sanctuary cities. So let's continue to go down the unfortunate list of the people that our own elected officials have let into this country. Let's go down to number 2. Fidel Sanchez Lopez of Mexico has been convicted of sex offenses against child fondling and public order crimes. He was arrested in Hillsborough. This man right here. Again, are you seeing a trend here? Hector Villa-Galariz of Mexico has been convicted of sexual exploitation of a minor, exhibition of a minor, and other sex offenses. He was arrested in Sheridan. Pavel Batamov of Uzbekistan has been convicted of sexual assault, rape, and strong-arm sodomy. He was arrested in Portland. This man's walking around the streets of Portland. Look at his convictions. Convictions, not charges, convictions. Proven in a court of law what he did to children. Well, he didn't, it doesn't say children here, but still. Look at those charges. Look at those convictions. Disgusting. Disgusting. And he's walking the streets of Portland because our own elected officials will let him in. And the opposite's going to say, well, they're going after just brown people. Does this guy look brown? It's not a race issue. And like I said that in my activism video that went viral across the internet, people showed up against the people who arrested and shot people who are doing this kind of stuff. Like, there's protesters against ICE, and they don't understand that these people walk with them, and because they are them. So if you stand with these people, you become these people. That's sad and disgusting. Again, another white guy. So that just completely destroys the left's argument of they're going after brown people. Let's see what his charges were. Lazaro Navarro Mari of Cuba. He was convicted of homicide. I bet you didn't know that my skin is darker than a lot of Cuban melanin, that's for sure. But again, the left is so oblivious and openly racist that they don't even understand that. So, but apparently ICE is just going after brown people. That's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. That's not the case. Armando Ramirez Rojas of Mexico has been convicted of sex offense against child fondling, molestation of a minor, and illegal reentry. So this is the same kind of stuff. This kind of person killed somebody. And he didn't, but somebody like him with the same charges, with the same status. This is what happens when you keep these kind of people into this country. Right here is Armando Ramirez Rojas of Mexico has been convicted of sex offense against child fondling, molestation, and a minor, and re-entry into this country. That's sick. It's disgusting. It's got to go. I don't want it in my country. Do you? That's not something that I want in my country. That is definitely not something that I want in my country. This is why the Crusades happen. Somebody says, you know, their own homelands to live in and need to go home. Yeah, they do this in their homeland, and they get away with it in their homeland. So they think they can come to a different country and do it in our homeland. Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to let it happen. That's why, you know, ICE and immigration surges are happening all throughout the United States, more specifically, as we're seeing here, seeing in most recent times, Everett, Washington. Karen Danielle Antonio Cruz Gonzalez of El Salvador has been convicted of sex offense against child fondling, another child sex rapist. Alfredo Lopez Almonte of Mexico. Where was this guy arrested at? He was arrested in Portland. He looks familiar. Unfortunately, these are the people that walk around your children. Alfredo Lopez Almonte of Mexico has been convicted of kidnapping and assault. He was arrested in Salem. So these are the major cities, except with this one, this is in a rural area. You know, he's of Laos. And let's see if we can pronounce his name. Guys, if we get this right, please donate to the Cash App down below, the Venmo down below. We really appreciate your guys' help with everything. It gets Geyer on scene. And please follow Geyer Digital on all social media platforms. But let's try and pronounce this guy's name properly here. Sanfalaban Sanfantakvan of Laos has been convicted of homicide and counterfeiting. So he killed somebody, and he's also a fraud. He was arrested in Damascus. Pedro Olivares Antonio of Mexico was convicted of kidnapping. He was arrested in Beaverton. Santos Aguilar Maya of Mexico has been convicted of selling synthetic narcotics, so basically selling fake drugs. He is a member of the Sinaloa cartel and was arrested in Portland. Sinaloa cartel, arrested in Portland. So the Sinaloa cartel is actively operating here in Portland, Oregon. Did you guys know that? Exxon Rodriguez Mendoza of Honduras was convicted of drug trafficking. He was arrested in Portland. Javier Luevano Plasciencia of Mexico was convicted of homicide, strong arm aggravated assault, and assault. He was arrested in Salem. Brian Galeana Rosas of Mexico was convicted of rape and sexual assault. He was arrested in Portland. We've seen him before. Juan Villadero. Hold on, guys. I got to plug something in real quick. We're going to run an ad here. So before we do this, I want to run an ad and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And we're just going to get right back into what's happening here in the Pacific Northwest. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of criminals here. Again, this guy, Juan Valero Nino of Mexico, was convicted of burglary, possession of stolen property, larceny, and conspiracy. He was arrested in Eugene. So the list just goes on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen. And these are the type of people that we're talking about. Unfortunately, these are the type of people that we're talking about. So welcome to the show. My name is Geyer. Thank you for joining. We're live on X and YouTube right now. If you want to support the stream, if you want to get Geyer onto the field and get him on the ground reporting, I'm here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to come to your city. We're headed up to Everett, Washington next, most likely. That's going to be the destination. That right there is the Venmo. Please, if you want to see us get to places, you want to continue to see us stream and you want us to report on the real news that's happening that the mainstream media will not show you, I can guarantee they're not going to show you what Geyer Digital shows you on the Geyer Show. That's for dang sure. I mean, we've been proven to be on the scene. The first one's on the scene in many different occasions. So if you want to continue to get us there, please follow us on all social media platforms, but mainly follow us on X. Follow us on X. That is the way to go. Thank you guys for joining. This is the Geyer Show. Let's pin some comments here. People are starting to ask some questions, and we're having a good time. This is our sponsor. We're definitely going to continue to roll with this sponsor. This is Northwest Bound Outdoors, guys. If you want to get on board this spring, he's an amazing guide fisherman out of the Pacific Northwest. Now let's pull up his website here. I want you guys to go ahead and call this number, text this number, do what you have to do. This number is 971-599-9574. This is Kevin Williams, certified guide fisherman out of the Pacific Northwest, our greatest sponsor. So I'm just going to read this for you. He goes, "Hi, my name is Kevin Williams, owner of the Northwest Bound Outdoors Guide Service. I grew up in Oregon and have been fishing in the Northwest since I was a kid, 35 years plus. As a kid and young adult, I've spent most of my free time fishing every chance I can get. Most of the time and opportunities have provided me with the experiences and the knowledge needed to know what the best techniques are and what the fish like, and the ability to know how to monitor the river conditions, water levels, and local fishing reports. The knowledge and experience I've gained over a lifetime of fishing will guarantee you the best guided fishing trips you can find." And he says, "My goal is to provide a safe and comfortable guided fishing trip. I truly enjoy sharing my knowledge and watching the excitement in helping you, your family, and your friends reel in their fish. After all of these years I've been fishing and sharing my experiences, it's just as exciting as the first time. Now," he says, "my job is to help you set up for success with the right equipment for an enjoyable day of fishing that will make a lifetime of lasting memories. Now, keep in mind, Kevin is a certified U.S. guide from the Coast Guard, licensed and insured to guide in Oregon and Washington. He's first aid and CPR certified. And he says he looks forward to meeting you and creating lasting relationships for all of your fishing needs. Fishing is his occupation, but also his passion." And you go through all of the different types of fish that he fishes for and his seasons. Now, the most up and coming season that is going to be absolutely incredible this year is going to be the spring Chinook season, going from March to July. Now, spring Chinook salmon are one of the Pacific salmon species and can be up to 50 pounds, although 10 to 25 is more common. The spring Chinook salmon is the best tasting salmon you'll ever eat, hands down. Best tasting salmon you will ever eat in your entire life. So get on board, get with Kevin at Northwest Bound Outdoors. There he is right there. And his phone number, 971-599-9574. I'll have somebody link that in the comments on X. If you're on YouTube, I'll have someone link that in the comments on YouTube. My mods know what to do. Thank you guys. Northwest Bound Outdoors. Get on and have a good time. It's a great time out on the water. So let's get back to the comments here. And we're going to go back to the Geyer Show. So this first comment coming in onto the Geyer Show. Crees sharing the stream here. We appreciate you over in North Carolina. We are nationwide, ladies and gentlemen, and we're even up in Canada, if you can believe it. The Geyer Show has gone transnational. We're not going trans, but we're going transnational, right? We're not transitioning to anything, although we would make a beautiful, beautiful woman, we've been told. Anyways, we're going to go to this one from the Republican of Alberta. Again, we're in Canada, ladies and gentlemen. We have friends up north. The Geyer Show has friends up north. Hello, eh? They have all their own homelands to live in, and they all need to go home. This is why the Crusades happen. Battle versus evil, not flesh. Asians and Africans have been attacking and abusing Europeans for centuries, and that's why our European ancestors never let them in. Again, I don't think it's based on those comments. I don't think it's based on race. I think it's just based on creed, moral identity, and how you were raised, and what type of surroundings you surround yourself in. But Americans, us as Americans, You know, we have a moral code, and that moral code is sacred to us. And there's people that want to come into the United States and hurt people specifically because of our moral code, and that's not okay. That's not okay. And we got people there to stop it, and there's people protesting those people trying to stop it. It's ridiculous. It's gross. It's got to go. And again, we're going to continue to report on it until we can't, because our First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of being demolished now. As we're talking about what these kind of people are doing, this guy,
got the high ground now?
we got to watch out for stuff like
Yeah,
this.
who's got the high ground now? Look at your pathetic little tent. We can see what it looks like from the other side. It's not that impressive. It's not that impressive. Yeah, who's got the high ground now?
So, you know, the
Your
left is
pathetic little tent.
using tactics. Let's talk about some tactics that were used over this past weekend. Children got gassed, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you bear with me, we're going to talk about that because it's something that's been on my heart for a while, and it sucks. It really sucks that you know, liberal women and liberal men are using their kids as shields, as human shields. You know, and to me, that's jihadist techniques, that's jihadist tactics, and we're not going to stand for that. We're not going to stand for it one bit. We didn't stand for it, and we let these people know. We let these people know how we felt about it, because it was terrible of what we saw. I mean, we've seen some pretty terrible things. Right here is a protest that happened. They marched to Mayor Keith Wilson's house, and obviously he made a mad dash before he left, before they got there. Excuse me.
Shame on you. Immigrants are people too. Shame on you.
So they're talking about these immigrants, ladies and gentlemen. They're talking about these immigrants that I had just showed you. Obviously, they're people too. We get that. They're all people, but they do animal, disgusting things to children, right? So why are we marching for them? Right? Why are we marching to the mayor's house? Because he's not revoking a permit to get those ICE agents out of there. They're trying to create a whole new faction here. You know, these people don't like the same people that we don't like, but they don't like them for different reasons. We don't like Mayor Keith Wilson because he tells his officers not to do anything. Tells his officers to stand down. He puts his officers at risk. So, you know, that was a march to Mayor Keith Wilson's house. And but those same people that were speaking were the same people that were rioting that same day, where the children got gassed. Now, they want to say that it was completely unprovoked. You're on federal property. You're bringing your children to the front lines of a federal building that has been the hotspot of a war zone, basically, over the past 6 months. Now, you want to tell me that it was the ICE agents' fault for doing what they've been doing over the past 6 months? No, this is your fault, ladies and gentlemen, who bring your kids to a protest like this. Like, you brought your kids to something that you knew was going to end in absolute disaster. Like, you knew it. And I'm speaking to the liberal parents that I hope one of you are listening, that is considered child abuse. And the fact that that all of these medics that were around, I can almost guarantee none of those medics reported any of those parents to CPS the next day, or the same day. As a medic, you're supposed to do that. If you apply any medical attention to a child, a minor, when it has to do with chemical munitions in the state of Oregon, you have to report that to Child Protective Services. It's child abuse. It wasn't because of these ICE agents. deploying the tear gas that they've deployed for months because there's been people trying to invade their building. No, this was specifically because parents use jihadist tactics to bring their children to a riot. And that's what the left does. And they're doctors and they're teachers, ladies and gentlemen. These are the type of people that are treating your children. You know, it's unfortunate. It's got to go. It's got to go. We can't have this kind of ideology inside of our city, and especially if our own elected members of our city are allowing it to happen. I mean, I'm not okay with it. This is Angelina Murillo today at a bus stop.
That's totally Angelina Murillo.
Angelita Murillo. So I'm just scrolling down here, and we'll kind of end the discussion. Oh, this right here, the same people that were marching to Mayor Wilson's house saying that they're marching in solidarity and in peace are the same people that are doing this. And this is why they gas people. So that person that kicked that tear gas canister back through the gate, or tried to kick it through the gate into the Immigration Customs Enforcement building, that person is an organizer of those marches, considered a de-escalator. Those are the people that you see surrounding the reporters that come in, or surrounding Tommy that comes in, right? Tommy can't. Okay, let's talk about that. What happened yesterday? Tommy came into that protest and they started surrounding him immediately before he got his words out. Before he got a single word out, they surrounded Tommy. That's what they do. They did the same thing to me, not Tina Kotek, the BC Preacher, and IRT Media when we arrived in Salem just last weekend. They did the same thing to me. They surrounded us. They assaulted me. The guy slammed his pole into my foot. I've got a bruise on my foot from it. I mean, it's the abuse that we take from going out there to show the truth of what happens. And I literally went there to go record the speeches because I was genuinely interested in the speeches. You know, the woman that didn't want herself to be recorded in a public place on Capitol grounds, like she's a Department of Corrections officer. Right. And why is she speaking out against ICE? Right. Why are they trying to keep ICE from coming into hospitals to get these people that are hiding in these hospitals? Like, these people are bad people that want to come in and hurt us and our children. And there's people out there protesting against that. And that's what we're showing you here. And they're blocking us from showing you that. They're restricting our freedom of speech. They're restricting our right to record and pursue our freedom of happiness, or pursuit of happiness, freedom to pursue our happiness. That's what they're doing. They're restricting it. They're restricting us from showing you the truth of what happens. I mean, we're bringing you the real news. We're bringing you the real media. We're bringing you the real intentions, right? The mainstream media has a different intention. They have a different rhetoric they want to push because they're paid to push that. Here on the Geyer Show, we're not paid to push any rhetoric. We push our own rhetoric, and hopefully it's the truth. We believe it's the truth, and if it's not the truth, we get called out on it, and we step back and we say, hey, we didn't report on that properly. We're going to do it again, and we're going to give you the truth, no matter what side it's on, ladies and gentlemen. If you're being a whackhead on the right, if you're being a whackhead on the left, you're sitting down in the center, and you're being a whackhead, we're going to report on it. And people report on Geyer when he's a whackhead, you know? But we're all in it for the same cause. We don't want to see this kind of stuff in our cities. Sanctuary cities have become a problem. And they're going to remain a problem if we don't vote them out. We can change it as a whole, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, man. What's up, Nico? Welcome to the show. My name is Geyer. Haven't seen your name pop up in the comments, so thank you for joining. Go ahead and follow Geyer Digital on all social media platforms. It helps us grow. It helps us get a bigger show. And it helps us to an audience that is greater. You know, if you have any questions, you want to talk about anything, go ahead and drop them in the comments right here. And we're in the section, or in the part of the show where we're reading comments, we're getting engaged. That's what we like. We like for you guys to get engaged with Geyer here on the Geyer Show. So thank you for joining. TPU, this one right here. TPUSA make heaven crowded April 8th, April 13th, Philadelphia and Virginia Beach Stingray Tour. Interesting. TPUSA and on the East Coast, huh? Make heaven crowded. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Of course, Nico. Welcome to the show. Let's see if anybody's joining over here on X. How's everybody doing tonight? You know, we've had a pretty crazy weekend. Let's get to the Super Bowl stats. You guys want to talk about some Super Bowl stats here, or Super Bowl scores? I don't really care about football anymore. I'm more of a combat sports kind of guy. So the Patriots lost. They had an amazing record this year, 17-4. And they lost to the Seattle Seahawks 29-13. Seattle Seahawks had a 17-3 record. You know, there was a fumble recovery during the game, a couple throws to the Seahawks wide receivers that were unbelievable. Got to give them that. But being a Patriots fan, growing up a Patriots fan, liking the Patriots, it's an unfortunate loss. You know, I thought we are going to have 7, but we don't. So it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be 100% okay. And you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. What's up, Don? Hello. How are you? We're going to get down to California as soon as we can. Yeah, we're going to get down there, and it's going to be, we're going to get an investigation going on some certain things. And then we're going to try and show you guys what's happening in LA. But our focus is now going to shift onto the show and go out and report when we're needed. You know, typically we just go out and report because we can. But now we're going to go out and report when we're needed, because Geyer is needed for a few things now. And we appreciate being needed. It's because we know we're doing the right thing over here on the Geyer Show. So thank you guys for joining. I'm going to sip my blueberry pomegranate juice, and let's continue to talk. Any breaking news? I know no buffer. I appreciate that hope, of course. Love that comment. No, but I appreciate the hope, of course. That's what we're here. We're here to give you hope. You know, there is hope in this city. There is hope in this country. There is hope inside of you. So as long as we can provide a little bit of that positivity and a little bit of that hope, we're going to go a long way. So welcome to the Geyer Show, ladies and gentlemen. People over here on X. Oh yeah, we're seeing our X comments come in. We're seeing our hello Geyer, hello Dawn. And that's pretty much all the topics we wanted to talk about tonight. Unfortunately, with a heavy heart, you know, there's this girl that is on our minds, Maura Garrity. Unfortunately, 8 years old, and she was killed. She was killed by somebody that was allowed to stay here, that shouldn't have been allowed to stay here. Given a license, even. Unfortunately, like given a license, like, come on, these are the people that we're protecting. We're protecting people like this while people like this are dying. It's unfortunate. She got hit by a car, man. I think. Yeah, an illegal immigrant killed her. An illegal immigrant killed her. I don't care how she died. I just know that an illegal immigrant killed her, because when I get into the semantics of how she died, it becomes personal. I don't want to get personal about this because it's going to make me cry. Yeah, she was killed by a driver that had a federal deportation warrant. This person should have been out of here before she was killed. And if he was not deported out of the country, she would still be alive right now with many other kids and women and innocent men and children. It's disgusting what the Biden administration has done to this country of allowing people to just openly come in through the border and openly fly here. It's unfortunate. Let's get this comment pulled up. That's definitely more of a shame of an event than Renee Good shot in the head by ICE. Yeah. I don't understand what you mean that. You don't mean that in a weird way. Okay, that's definitely more of a shame of an event than Renee Good shot in the head by ICE. Yeah, man. I mean, in our opinion over here at the Gyro Show, Renee Good wasn't innocent. She wasn't innocent. We saw the extra video and we know what vehicles can do to people. I mean, we got hit by a vehicle going less than that. And my back is literally messed up because of it. Like for life. Okay. I've got back injuries because I got hit by a car. Now, from the video that we saw that wasn't doctored, that ICE agent's life was in danger. He pulled out his gun and he fired the shots. Those shots hit Renee Good in the face. She died because of her actions impeding on ICE operations. Now, take what you want with that, but that's what happened. This girl was an innocent 8-year-old girl who was murdered by a man who shouldn't be here. That's the difference. It was a justified killing by the ICE agent or the agent that shot Renee Good. It was a justified killing, just like it was a justified killing on Alex Pretty. It was justified, right? Because these people were there to hurt ICE agents. They want to hurt them. They want to kill them. They want them out. We hear it every single day. When we go down to Portland, we definitely hear it. We definitely hear it. Yeah. So we hear it every single day. We see it every single day. We've taken, personally, I've taken down doxing material of ICE agents. Now what happens when this kind of propaganda when this propaganda is on the city everywhere and people know where these ICE agents live? What do you think is going to happen? These people want to come up to their houses, they want to follow them, and they want to hurt them, specifically for getting people out like this. Wait, it's not even pulled up. Specifically for getting the bad dudes out of here that want to hurt people like this. I mean, this is an innocent little girl that died because she was murdered by a man that shouldn't be here. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's what the topics were today. It's hard. We don't like talking about things like this. You know, we want to talk about the stats in the Super Bowl, you know, but unfortunately, the mainstream media is going to talk about the stats in the Super Bowl. They're going to talk about everything that happened, you know, whether Bad Bunny should be in the Super Bowl. Like, there's a difference between the Super Bowl football, and there's a difference between Hollywood halftime, right? We don't care about the halftime show. I don't care. America shouldn't care about a halftime show. We shouldn't get all up in arms over a halftime show. Like, it's a halftime show, ladies and gentlemen. Who cares if it's woke? Everything's woke. It's going to stay woke. When you continue to vote liberal ideology into your government, when you continue to vote these communists into your government, did you know we have 6 Democratic Socialists of America within our own freaking city council in Portland? Did you know that? Now you do. That's a problem. Those Democratic city councils like to punch reporters in the face just because for walking through a public sidewalk because they don't like you because we report the truth on them. The mainstream media is not going to report on that. The mainstream media is not going to tell you that there's 6 Democratic Socialists of America within city council. Crazy. No, they're going to report on Bad Bunny at the halftime show. The controversy. Who cares? Who cares? Seahawks won. Go celebrate. It's your team. right? Why are we so worried about Bad Bunny? You know, I don't care about a Bad Bunny. Let's get back to where football was football. The halftime show was the halftime show. The Budweiser horses came in and did their thing. And that's it. That's it. Let's get back to 1980s Portland, where it was clean, where we didn't have drug addicts sitting outside of businesses, causing businesses and storefronts to shut down because there's drugs being brought in. You saw it yourself, ladies and gentlemen. There was a Sinaloa cartel gang member arrested in Portland for drug smuggling and drug dealing and fraud. It's because we live in a sanctuary city, sanctuary state, ran by democratic rule. Time to vote that crap out. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for joining in on this beautiful show. This was a great show. Everybody from X, everybody from YouTube. Again, continue to follow Geyer Digital on all social media platforms. We're on X, we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Continuing to bring you the real truth, the raw truth, the real knowledge, and everything that's happening mostly here in the Pacific Northwest. We want to thank our sponsors again, Northwest Bound Outdoors. The best to do it here in the Pacific Northwest. If you want to get out there, if you're a fisherman, if you're not a fisherman, if you have a local business that you want to get on, or if you have a local business that you own, and you want to take your employees out on a fishing trip, he does corporate trips, corporate events. Book the boat, he'll give you a discount. 971-599-9574. You want to ask some questions for the Geyer Show? Send us a DM on all social media platforms. Whatever social media platform you're on. Look up Geyer Digital. Say, hey, Geyer, we've got a question for you. Or we've got something to say to Geyer. Or I want to talk to Geyer. Or let's get you on the show. You want to have something interesting. You've got a truth bomb that you want to drop. You want to bring some information onto the show. Let's get you on here. Let's have a conversation. Let's move forward with conversation. Let's continue to report on the good. Let's continue to report on the bad. We're going to report on it all. Help us out here. Get us on the streets. Get us behind the camera and get us in your living rooms, because we want to provide the main media sources. We don't want your mainstream network to come from Fox News. Fox News is garbage. Don't listen to Fox News. Don't listen to CNN. Don't listen to MSNBC, ABC. They're all tied into a media agenda that is trying to ruin you and turn you into slobs and turn you into lazy, abiding citizens of what their rhetoric and what their agenda is. We're getting off topic, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get back to the comments here. Before we sign off, Guy, you're a good dude. Keep up. Let's see what this one says. Guy, you're a good dude. Keep up the flame, and I believe you have risen above your back injury for God. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. We've got some things we're going to find out about the back injury, but we're moving in the positive direction. This one, birds aren't even real, sends a unicorn. Birds are real. Corporate oven, good slaves, is what Nico says. Yeah, I mean, we continue to watch the mainstream news to keep us allegedly informed, but really it scares us. It puts us in fear. It puts us in wonder. It puts us in worry. And 9 times out of 10, the story isn't even correct. The Oregonian's garbage. Are we just going to end the podcast or end the show with Geyer just completely trashing on mainstream news networks? Let's talk about it. The Oregonian, completely fake in what they report on. They're completely biased. When you're out there in the field and you talk to them, they won't even talk to you. They're the most liberal, brainwashed people, and they could use some pounds. Like, they could use some vitamin D. Like, it would be really great to get some iron in their diet, because they don't have any iron. They look washed up because they're not out in the field doing things. They're not out in life. They're out stuck behind a TikTok phone screen trying to find the next liberal story to report on. The Oregonian is garbage. They used to be a great news network until they were infiltrated by liberals and corporate interests that keep you on your toes and keep you arguing with each other. Time to stop arguing and let's have a debate. Let's have conversations. Hell, if we have to fight, let's fight, right? And that's another topic too. We see a lot of this is these people are fighting for something, right? But what are you solving by holding a sign? What are you solving by going up to a blue line in front of a federal building? Right? Like, unfortunately, the action that the terrible action that these people take can take lives. But like, if they're distracting you with all of this while they're slowly creeping themselves in with voting and changing legislation. I mean, look at Measure 110. We're going to go investigate that. There's a storefront in Portland, Oregon, that has been ravaged by the ideology of drugs being a big problem here in the United States, especially in Portland. I mean, you see people slumped over on drugs when you go down there all the time. Take a trip into downtown Portland if you live in the area. If you haven't been there in a while and you just want to drive through, go through the Old Mill District. See it for yourself. All these people talking online how bad it is. Really come see it for yourself. Because it's bad. Bad, it's terrible. But it's going to change. It's going to change if we start voting and moving in the right direction. So that's all Geyer's got to say about that. Guys, thank you for joining. We're going to jump off here soon. And real quick, let's see if the BC Preacher is live, because I know that he was in Seattle. And we want to know how rowdy it's gotten over in Seattle right now. So we're going to end the stream with a couple of minutes of restreaming the BC Preacher. Again, this is the Geyer Show. We are going to be live probably this Wednesday, and we look forward to jumping in on another topic as we continue to stream, continue to be on the streets of Portland, Oregon, and Everett, Washington, and Los Angeles, California. We're going to continue to bring you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. It's going to be behind the camera. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to end the stream here with a little bit of a restream from the BC Preacher here live in Seattle. Now, it looks like they're just taking up the streets. Taking up the streets here in Seattle after the Seahawks have won. Now, this is typically what happened. Luckily, they aren't rioting, which is a surprising sight to see in Seattle. So, birds aren't even real. So, thank you for your hard
Probably
work.
going to end this here in a second.
Appreciate it, of course.
I'll try to work on some stuff while I eat.
Do it for you guys.
Then if anything happens, come back out.
Do it so you don't have to. Again, this is the BC Preacher live in
But this
Seattle.
is the energy right now down in Seattle, Washington, after the Seahawks just beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I'll see what I can do about coming down for the parade on Wednesday.
So there's a parade for the Seattle
I can make that happen.
Seahawks Wednesday.
It looks like Oh, this is closed. The pizza
Everybody,
place
this
is
is-
closed.
BC Preacher,
This is
street
probably why.
journalist, live streamer, preacher,
Looks like
covering
we got
live
carried
on the
away.
Pacific Northwest Seattle right now. We're restreaming him towards the end of the Geyer Show. Again, we've been live for about an hour now.
Well, there's
Thank
our
you guys
first
for joining.
destruction.
Um,
Not sure if that happened inside or outside. So there's a no-go for the pizza.
the window's broken on the corner spot
Huh?
in the
I'm
pavilion,
not
I
sure
think,
where
at Pioneer
else.
Square
You go to the rooftop?
up in Seattle.
Hotel?
So that's that. If you guys want to jump over to couple of people streaming on YouTube right now. That's okay. But thank you guys for joining. This is the Geyer Show. And let's go ahead and end it with a little love here. Thank you for joining again. Follow me on all social media platforms if you want to continue to follow our content. You know, a lot of big names are sharing our stuff. We appreciate you, Andy No, constantly sharing the Geyer digital content on social media, getting it out there. We're building a platform here. Follow me on X, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Rumble, all social media platforms. Let's see what else. There's a couple of people that I want you to follow if you don't already. Their names are the BC Preacher on all social media platforms. Haley West on X and Instagram. Build her page, build her platform on YouTube as well. Local street reporter and journalist out here in the Pacific Northwest, covering live what happens here in the Pacific Northwest. Now, again, thank you to our sponsors, Northwest Bound Outdoors, local guide fisherman here in the Pacific Northwest. Get on his boat. You got a business, you want to take your people out on your boat, take your employees out on the boat for a company trip, 971-599-9574. Again, that's 971-599-9574. Follow Belly Ray on YouTube, a street activist. He gives back to his community more than anybody I know. That man gives back to his community way more than any of these people that I know. So go give him a follow. We love Belly Ray over here at the Geyer Show. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else. And in the comments, tell us what you want Geyer to discuss in the next show. What should we discuss? What topics should we bring up? How did we do on our monologue this morning? Typed it up myself, ladies and gentlemen. Typed up that monologue myself. That was pretty good, wasn't it? So we're going to go down. He's an OG reporter too. Yep. OG reporter. Yep. The BC Preacher totally is. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. We're going to end the stream. Thank you guys for joining. Again, my name is Geyer, and this is episode 5 of the Geyer Show. We'll see you this Wednesday live at 9 p.m. only on X and YouTube. Thank you guys for joining.